Hey everyone, Mac is back, and today we're going to talk about the update that just went through a little after reset, and we're going to talk about the Night King and his awakening, Tyrion's awakening, the glorious battle. I'm not going to talk about the glorious battle. We'll wait until it actually starts up again, and we'll go over those later. And the last thing was the little change to the refinement. So let's get to it. So in the refinement, they added two different little actions that you can take here. So once you have all of the refinement maxed out, you can actually convert your refined rough to your washstones. So if you just click on the plus button over here, you can take 100 of the refined rough and change it into one of the washstones to be able to re-roll maybe different different buffs that you want, or different stats that you want, depending on what your account is. So if you want to like kind of re-roll back and forth between, like, say, motivation or something like that, that would be it's a really great idea to be able to do that with those washstones. Another thing they added down here in the bottom right is the shuffle. You could shuffle up now. You can do an auto shuffle. So basically, to do that, you go over to your stats, your all attributes, you check mark which ones you want in here, whichever ones they are, and then once you're finished over here, you can click on this little symbol on the side, and it'll show you how many times you can be able to re-roll, instead of having to go, like, basically, if I wanted to re-roll, say, army size or something, I'd have to hit this re-roll button over and over and over and over again, and it's kind of annoying to be able to have that many clicks. So instead, you can do it 10, 20, 50, 100, or the max amount of times, which is your total number of stones if you want to do that. So this will just save a bunch of time. So it's a really good attribute that they added on here as well. So with the Knight Commander, he has been awakened, released, and awakened. So if you played, or if you did anything in the Night King event, you were able to get up to half of the medals that you would be able to get to unlock him. And his stats I've gone over before, about the total attack reduction, the total attack, and the casualty rate, which are very nice. When talking about his awakening skill, they have released that. It's called I Am Winter. Many of you who even watch my videos are probably not going to get him this high, because he's very, very expensive, because he's going to cost just as much that you would for any of the other F5 commanders. But to just talk about it very briefly, when any of the allied lineups suffer losses of more than 20%, the Night King summons White Walkers into the lineup to participate in battle, with numbers being 90% of the troops lost for the lineup. At the same time, the lineup gains 20% attack. This is probably one of the best stats or attributes or skills that you can get in the game. I'm gonna go over now to a Word document and just kind of give you an example of how really good this skill is. So with that being said, here's an example of someone with a march of 1 million troops, and that is separated into 200,000 troops per line. And when you subtract 20% off of each line, and this won't happen at the same time for the most part, it really just depends on, of course, the commander and their buffs and their skills that they're going to have as well. So each line may not get to that minus 20% right away, but minus 20% takes them down to 160,000 in each line as well. Now what you do is you take that difference there, what the 20% that was lost, you multiply that times 90%, because 90% is going to be what the White Walkers you're going to get, and that'll give 36,000 revived troops per lineup. So each one of these, instead of them losing that 20%, that 40,000, they're actually going to get back 36,000 of those troops. So the total loss is actually only going to be 20,000, and then the revived troops are going to come back, and you'll have 180,000. So, and then on top of that, you're going to add a 20% total attack, starting right there. So this trigger here is pretty ridiculous. It's only going to be for the whales, but I just wanted to just briefly give you an idea of how good it's going to be. So it'll be whale fighting whale, basically. And one of the things you want to remember is that you don't want to have a commander in there that's healing your troops as well, because if you have a healing commander in there, then they won't be losing as many troops. And then with this type of commander, you're going to want to just buff everything and have no healing, because he's going to be bringing back all your troops. And one way cheaply to unlock the Night King, at least for gray quality, is up here at this Eternal King of Eternal Winter. So if you're a big spender, you can easily you can spend a lot of money. You know, it's just the same price as you would for the other big commanders to be able to get 6 of the medals. However, you get to choose some of these other different rewards that go with it. So depending on what you want, the obviously SS medals are very valuable. 30,000 diamonds is really good because that'll give you 5 of the epic medals, and the other things, you know, are decent. I mean, you know, the S medal, or the S medals of 15 is okay, I guess, and if you really need some of these other things, but you know, obviously just choose whatever you need if you're going to be able to do this one. It's kind of a neat, I like that they've kind of made a smorgasbord of this. It just makes it a little bit easier for you to get things that you actually are going to use. The other thing up here, the other tab, is the challenge quests, and you can see on here, this is where you can actually unlock the Night King very cheaply. The only thing you really need to do is to recharge for 50 black diamonds, and once you do that, you'll get 2 more of the medals. Then you spend your 10,000 blue diamonds, and you get 2 more, and then just log in for 3 days, and you'll get another one. So overall, that'll give you the 5 extra medals that you need for on top of the 5 that you already have to unlock him. And lastly, I want to discuss Tyrion Lannister and his awakening. So for the very first thing you can notice down here is the conversion rate for the awakening itself. You get a 2-to-1 ratio, which is actually very, very good. It's the best ratio you have unless you are one of the big commanders, which is 1-to-1. So the main source is going to come from, of his medals, are going to come from the elite trials and from the bonuses you get for the daily and the daily, not packs, but the daily rewards, where if you train so many troops or do so much research or stuff like that. So if you end up doing a lot of that, then you can get a bunch of these medals. I'm sure he's going to come out in packs as well. So just if you get a bunch of packs too, you can you'll be able to upgrade him as well. But looking at his awakening, to get to that, same thing with the friendship and all that different kind of stuff. But his specialization is his defense and his attack and some research speed. So you get these all both go up to 24% once at 4 stars. I'm sorry, once at 3 stars. But at 4 stars, looking at his ability, 20 seconds after battle begins, when allied troops deal counter damage, there is a 50% chance of rerouting enemy troops, the number being 20% of enemy troops lost this time away from the battlefield. So it's essentially another reroute. We've had a castle skin to do this, we've had a dragon ability, of course, that does it, and now we have a commander that does it. And for this ability, basically means that if you're doing counter damage, so if you're attacking with 3 troop line, then with all 3 troops, then you're almost guaranteed a counter damage, unless you're going straight into just pure bows, because of course that's not going to counter the bows. If you are defending, then it'll trigger every time as well. Again, unless it is a counter damage, or I'm sorry, it's a pure bow attacking you, because there's no counter damage to them. So that's the only reason it wouldn't trigger. So he would be someone definitely you put on your wall for the that reroute effect. And this is since it doesn't say it here, but I would assume it's going to stack on top of the reroute that you already have if you have it. So that's a nice little piece as well. But basically, it's saying that you have a 50-50 chance of rerouting the troops, and the number is being 20% of the enemy troops lost. So if the enemy loses, say 6,000 troops, which is not unreasonable, to have a I'm sorry, if they're rerouting 6,000 troops, say they lose like 50,000 troops or something like that, the 20% is going to be quite substantial, because it's going to happen every time that there's damage after. But you're going to have to. This is not going to trigger until half the battle is already over. So if you're already getting annihilated, this reroute's really not going to save you that respect. It'll just say you'll save some damage for sure, but it's not going to save the battle. You're still going to lose the battle if you're getting annihilated at that point. But he's going to be someone that everybody can upgrade. So it'll be I think this is a very good for free to play, because you're going to be able to upgrade him. It's going to take you time, of course, because you're going to be with the elite trials every 2 weeks, and for trying to just get the medals where you can. for doing research and like troop training and that kind of thing. So I think this is really good for those. A really good addition that the devs did for this, because even the the whales are not going to really use this kind of commander, and I think this. I hope that in the future they see more of these free-to-play commanders to be able to be unlocked, and that the whales won't use it, but the free-to-play obviously would be a huge boost to them. So until next time, Mac out.